The sun rises over the Fertile Crescent, roughly 11,000 years ago. Welcome to a settlement much like Abu Hureyra on the Euphrates, or Kionu near the Tigris. Humanity is taking its first monumental steps. After hundreds of thousands of years of nomadic hunting and gathering, people are finally settling down to become the world's first farmers. Meet Elam, our protagonist. He is waking up in a home that represents a revolution in human engineering. Unlike his nomadic ancestors who slept in temporary shelters, or even his grandparents who lived in simple round huts, Elam lives in a rectangular mud brick house. Beneath his plastered floor lies a clever grill plan foundation, parallel stone lines that create air channels. This innovation keeps his home insulated, dry, and ventilated above the damp river valley soil. Elam is no longer just surviving the environment, he is domesticating his space. Before heading out, Elam begins his daily routine. He climbs down into a specialized, cell-like basement room, a crucial architectural innovation that protects his family's hard-earned food supply from pests and bad weather. He sits by the central hearth to eat a simple meal of cooked grain. This warm porridge is a new luxury. His nomadic ancestors from thousands of years ago consumed most of their food raw. Finally, he inspects his most vital tool, a sickle crafted from animal bone. He carefully adjusts the small, sharp blades inserted into its edge, some made of local flint, and others of shiny, imported obsidian. Only then is he prepared to face the fields. By mid-morning, Elam is out in the fields harvesting einkorn and emmer wheat. He is witnessing a biological miracle. Unlike wild grasses that shatter and drop their seeds to the wind, these crops have mutated so their seeds stay firmly attached to the stem, waiting for Elam to harvest them. But this agricultural wealth comes at a heavy physical price. Using his bone sickle, Elam must bend and kneel for hours on end to cut the stalks. He is literally breaking his back to feed his family. Exhausted from the harvest, Elam returns to the village, where his wife Nia is preparing the day's food. Producing enough flour for just one single meal takes several hours of exhausting grinding on heavy stone tools. The constant, grueling pressure of this daily chore means that Nia, like many women in her village, suffers from collapsed vertebrae and grossly arthritic big toes. There is also a hidden danger in this new diet. The grinding process leaves tiny flakes of stone and grit in the flour. Over a lifetime, eating this gritty bread will wear their teeth down to the nerves. Nearby, a neighbor weaves baskets to store their surplus crops. She uses her mouth as a third hand to hold the tough plant fibers tight, a skill so specialized and repetitive that it leaves deep, permanent grooves in her front teeth. The work of the Neolithic village marks their very bones. In the afternoon, Elam tends to his most valuable possessions. For thousands of years, his ancestors relied on hunting vast herds of migrating gazelle. But as the climate turned colder and drier during a period known as the Younger Dryas, wild game and edible plants became scarce. To ensure their survival, Elam's people didn't just domesticate plants, they started keeping animals close. Elam feeds his small herd of sheep, goats, and newly domesticated pigs. These simple animal enclosures provide a steady source of protein and represent the true birth of animal husbandry. As the day ends, Elam's family gathers around the central hearth. They are safe, fed, and deeply rooted in this exact spot. In fact, they are tied to this land in the most literal way possible. Buried directly beneath their plastered floors are the bones of their ancestors. In this new, settled world, remembering the dead establishes a family's claim to their home and fields. Sometimes, they even retrieve the skulls of their loved ones, covering them in plaster and shells to recreate their living faces. As Elam goes to sleep, he rests directly above his forefathers, an ordinary man laying the foundation for all modern civilization. The agricultural revolution changed Elam's world forever, and it built the very foundations of the world we live in today. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please consider leaving a like. Let me know in the comments which historical era we should explore next, and don't forget to subscribe for more animated everyday lives. See you in the next video.